Welcome everyone to, this is what I call our District Hall Virtual Lounge. For those of you who don't know, I'm the Executive Director of District Hall and Venture Cafe Providence. We manage a beautiful 8,000 square foot space. Behind me, you'll see our event space. Virtually, I'm not literally there right now. We are the front of the building that RIHub is also housed in. So many of us in our ecosystem, our innovation ecosystem, share an address at 225 Dyer Street. In our space, we offer free and open public lounge. So we're closed right now for COVID, but we'll be back up in January, where anyone can come in Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 and work, have casual physically distanced meetings. We have private meeting rooms and event space that are available to rent. And then we also run our signature Thursday Venture Cafe programming. We're part of a global network of venture cafes, so that happens every Thursday. And we also do a lot of non-Thursday programming. Currently, we're running a lot of programming to support the small business community in Rhode Island, mostly in partnership with the state and other ecosystem partners. And we do a lot of innovation programming like this. Twice a month, we partner with Rhode Island Israel Collaborative, one of our favorite ecosystem partners. And then one of those is this great program that we host in partnership with Rhode Island Israel Collaborative and RIHub. So without further ado, I've already talked about how much we all, Annette, Avi, and I love to shout from mountaintops, why this Rhode Island is a great soft landing. If you're thinking about coming to America, we promise you we'll connect you to the resources you need to thrive. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to my good friend, Avi Neville.
So, Tuni, thank you. It's nice to have everybody here just about the Rhode Island Collaborative. We are a Chamber of Commerce to connect Rhode Island and Israel in business, academia, and research. And we hope that we're doing a good job. I just want to mention today our team, we partnering with District Hall, with RIHub, Annette, Tonti, Avi Malinger, Alexandra, Alexi, Amy, Ashley, Ophir. It's a lot of work to get a program like that going, and I want to thank you all for your efforts. I think that's great for the state of Rhode Island. And one of the things that I'm sure you will find out that Rhode Island is a place where welcome Israeli companies, and since we are small, it's easier for us to connect between the department, and we have very high visibility, and you see with the speakers. Also, I want to welcome the Israeli speakers, Idan, Maya, and Viki from Myor, Skillset, and Corridors. And just want to mention a couple of things. Tomorrow we have another great event with Venture Cafe with Udi Mukadi. I don't know who knows, but he's founder CEO of CyberArk. It's a huge company, a pioneer in cybersecurity, and James Ludas will be interviewing him, and we'll have the honor to have the new Israeli Consul General to New England, Ambassador Maron Reuven. He just arrived 2 weeks ago, and it will be his first Rhode Island engagement. So we're very happy. We done in the past trade mission to Israel, and obviously we cannot travel. So Rhode Island Commerce and Bryant University Chaffee Center and other partners that will partner with us will have a virtual mission to Israel, and we'll have an information session December 16, and we'll have a guest speaker, Zev Lavi from the Israeli Chamber of Commerce. We have another project going with RIIC. We are recruiting Hispanic students and small companies in creating a webpage for them. So now it's a great honor for me to move on and introduce our guest honorary speaker, Brett Smiley. Brett is the head of the Department of Administration at the state. I know personally Brett for probably 15 years, and always a supporter for Israel and relation with Israel, behind the scene and in the front. And I'm so glad that he helped also this year to help last year the governor in a trip to Israel. He helped to organize part of it, and it's a great honor for me. So with that, I will transfer to Brett. Again, thank you for taking your time, because head of administration at the time of COVID is a 24/7, or more correct, probably 27/7. I don't know if you get ever to sleep, but we feel very honored that you agreed. And I think to the Israeli guest of ours, it's a note that, hey, we in Rhode Island, from the top level, would like to host you as a companies that come to Rhode Island. You'll find a home, and that's wonderful. So thank you again, and Brett, it's all yours. Thank you again.
Thank you, Avi, and Tuni and the rest of the speakers. It is a pleasure to be here, and Avi and I have been friends for many years now, and it's been so wonderful to see how the collaborative has grown and how much work has been done. Just a little background on my role in state government as an entree into what it's like to do business here in Rhode Island. The Department of Administration is very much the back office of all of government. So we have oversight over centralized all state properties, purchasing, human resources, information technology, procurement, and our diversity office. And so this is really the back office running of government. And so it's an interesting vantage point to both look at using the state as a driver of business and an opportunity to expand our networks and to bring in new vendors into the state and for people interested in doing business with the state itself, but then also serving as a service center to make it easier to do business with in Rhode Island. So I had the great honor of visiting Israel a few years ago, and I got the distinct impression that we have many things in common, not the least of which is, as a small state, everybody kind of knows everybody. And that is a great advantage. I think it's a great advantage for Israel, and it's a great advantage in Rhode Island, which is that it is easy to get connected. It's easy to network. And if you're not talking to the right person, you're talking to someone who knows how to get you to the right person. And that is one of our great competitive advantages. As a kind of a funny anecdotal aside, my mother's cousin lives in Jerusalem, and I hadn't seen her since I was a kid. And when I got there, it was not the trade mission, but it was a work trip. And I asked our tour guide, "You don't by chance know?" And he said, "Well, I don't know her, but I know the publisher of the paper that she works at." And the next thing I know, I had my second cousin's cell phone number, and we met up for dinner in Jerusalem. And Rhode Island's the same kind of way, same kind of place. And so if you're thinking about doing business in Rhode Island, there is no easier place to get connected. And given our location between Boston and New York, having a foothold in Rhode Island, a place where with 2 or 3 phone calls, you can end up with the right person, is a great place to start your business. Governor Raimondo, who I've had the pleasure of serving for the last 6 years, first as her chief of staff and now as the state director of administration, has been squarely focused on economic development. And unlike some other places, perhaps, where she's been focused on only focused on growing local businesses, she's been highly focused on bringing in new businesses. And so she has deep respect for Avi. She was a key driver behind where Tuni works and getting the Cambridge Innovation Center to locate in Rhode Island. And so we are committed at the highest levels with the governor, me, the new chief of staff, the commerce secretary, to continuing to grow this collaborative and to support new businesses coming to Rhode Island. We feel like we have a real synergy in cybersecurity. We have a synergy in biotech. We have a synergy in engineering companies. And you'll see that in the Innovation Hub, the work that we're doing with IBM Israel, some of the university partnerships that have been founded and grown over the years. And so we have an opportunity, I think, and while certainly I'm very focused on supporting the state workforce and local government through the COVID crisis, we are already thinking about how we're going to build back after the crisis has passed. and how we're going to restart our economy. And it's going to involve new partnerships and new investment. And so this is a terrific time to reach out and like doing business in Israel, it is as simple as a couple phone calls. And so I'm a resource to all of you, to Avi. I'd be happy to put my contact information in the chat. And particularly from my vantage point, if you're interested in learning how to do business with the state itself, not just doing business in the state, but doing business with the state as a customer, I'm happy to connect you to the right people to learn how to be a vendor or to otherwise take advantage of state opportunities. As one of the largest customers in Rhode Island, we procure a lot of services, we hire a lot of people, and we are interested in growing our vendor pool as well, and that might be a nice opportunity for you. So we have a robust program, and I'm grateful to have a chance to be here, but I want to just say thank you, and thank you for tuning in, and thank you for giving Rhode Island a look. We're eager to partner with you, and we are easy to connect with. So thank you, Avi, and I'll turn it over to Tuni now.
Fantastic. Thank you, Brett. And everything Brett said is 100% true. I call us all Team Rhode Island. So we welcome all of you from Israel, and I'm very much looking forward to our, what do we call you, Annette? The Startup Whisperer. And before I hand it over, a little housekeeping that I didn't talk about in the beginning. Keep an eye on the chat, share information in the chat, ask us questions in the chat. I just shared my LinkedIn profile. Feel free to connect with me and send me a private message there. I also put my email address. Amy also dropped in some links. Tomorrow we have another great program that Avi will talk about at the end of this program. And I'll hand it over to you now, Annette.
All right, I'll actually, I'll keep my voice raised a little bit. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So I love being here. I actually, as somebody mentioned, I'm the managing director of RIHub. Our entire mission is to work with young companies, startup companies, companies that are on their way, especially those that have the potential for high growth. And one of the things that as Tuni and Brett and Avi have mentioned, we love working with companies that want to actually create a presence in the United States and think that Rhode Island would be a great place. We know it is a great place. So that's what RIHub is all about. I'm getting the great opportunity to speak to 3 startups today. We're going to hear from Myor, Skillset, and Prodops. And how this is going to work is we're asking each of them to do a 10-minute pitch about their business. And then we're going to do Q&A. I'll do a little Q&A, but you can ask questions, use the chat. We will follow up with these folks. So speakers get started. We're going to be speaking with Idan Katz from Myor. If you would go ahead and, hi Idan.
Hi,
share your
everyone.
screen. And by the way, I have a little 2-minute warning here. And if you don't see it, I'll maybe barge in, but I'll try to be really nice about it. Take it away.
Okay, so thanks for having me. I'm really happy to be here. As you mentioned, I'm going to talk about Myor, a bit about the company, a bit more about the product, and what are we planning next. So what we're doing, we're advancing healthcare through predictive analytics, and this I'm guessing many companies want to do, but we have an expertise that maybe no one else has, which is skin science, and specifically skin science in the context of understanding systemic health. This allows us to have solutions for precision prevention, and I'll elaborate on the 2 shortly. And this is a platform, and this is our idea, but we already have a product using this concept, and the product is predicting and preventing allergic conditions. So why skin, first of all? First of all, it's the largest organ in the body, and it's continuously changing while being connected to everything inside and being the interface outside. So when you think about it this way, it only makes sense that it can be used as a window into the body. It can, you can diagnose inner workings through the skin, and this is what we are doing. Doing so is mainly skin science, which is Professor Ronnie Cohen from the Hebrew University, who is the founder of this company, and also Michael Brandwein, who is a skin microbiologist. But we also have people from an entirely different discipline, running software and analytics, because we combine both clinical and science and biology with computers and data science tools. And of course, my side of the business is a bit different, coming from geology. I'm not a data scientist. I'm more focused on the business aspect of it. And we have also some people oriented to the business side of things. So prevention, maybe there is no reason to talk about prevention, but we think there is more to it than what you think in the first place. And we would like to focus on precision prevention. Unlike managing diseases or early detection and elimination, we would like to stop things before they even happen. And what we're usually doing about this is vaccinations, but vaccination is something very generic. We're looking to identify the at-risk population and to offer them the needed interventions. So this is the platform, this is the idea, and let's talk about predicting and preventing allergic conditions in infants. So as I mentioned, we are focused on the skin, on biomarkers, and we measure the skin biomarker to assess the skin functionality. Then we take note of different parameters regarding the infant, the family history, the pregnancy, the environmental factors. And by running analytical tools on this data set, we can identify the at-risk group. And this allows us to offer them a protection plan. Now, I think many companies in the digital health business crank data and have insights, but we use the skin, which is our specific advantage, and we can really prevent things. Now, probably this slide just said everything, but let's go a bit more into the details. So atopic dermatitis and food allergies are two extremely common conditions affecting 20 and 10% of infants, and this is a global issue, and they place a major burden both economically but also from a quality of life perspective. And I think they're so common that I do not need to elaborate on them. The reason why we're focusing on both is that they're actually part of the same allergic sequence, which is atopic march, an immune-related sequence starting from atopic and continuing to asthma. And the mechanism that generates this sequence, that is the starting point for it, is the skin. Actually, if your skin is not protecting you enough, you start having allergies. If your body, when you're an infant, the first introduction to the immunity system of allergens is through the skin, then you develop allergy, an allergic Th2 memory, which is allergy. And if the first introduction of allergens is through the GI tract, you develop the tolerance. So if you have an impaired skin barrier, you both have the wrongly pathway for the allergens, but you also develop a non-diverse staph aureus dominated microbiome environment, which also affects your immunity system. And before this starts, there are some simple interventions that you can take to prevent these issues, if you know you need to take them. But you need to take them before there is any issue. So we believe that identifying the at-risk population is the first step towards the preventative actions. So this is the background, and this is how we are actually doing it. On the left side, you can see how we're measuring transepidermal water loss, which is the proxy for the skin functionality. This is non-invasive, takes 10 seconds, and is extremely easy. Also, through an app, through a web questionnaire, we collect the different data on when was the baby born, gender, where does he live, the family history, and then we generate a risk report. Now, we are not just saying he's in risk for allergies. We have two different algorithms, one for atopic dermatitis, the other one for food allergies, and we really have the breakdown of this risk assessment. Now, this is designed as a decision support tool for healthcare providers to offer some insights for the families on the infants. Now, for those who are at risk, we can offer them a personalized protection plan, offering them the needed information, the needed guidelines, and also physical products to actually prevent these issues. Now, what now and what is next? And you mentioned it in the beginning. So we're starting in January a pilot not in Rhode Island, but in Colorado. But we are looking to land in the US. We are looking to start our business activity in the US. We're looking for everything that has to do with starting business activities in the US. And this is the reason we are doing it. So we want to prevent allergies for our kids, and this is all the kids of the company, and for other kids as well. So this is us, this is Myor, and this is our product.
No, okay, great. You did a really good job. You have like 3 minutes left, but hey, great. Hey, so I have a couple of questions, and for the folks listening, please don't hesitate to put your questions in the chat, and we'll get those answered. So a question I have for you is, you know, it's wonderful you're starting out with children, and I get the connection with the allergies. When I read about the fact that you could also test for iron levels, is this something that you can test in an adult level skin as well?
Yeah.
About iron?
Yeah. Now the story behind the iron measurement is that below the nails, we do not have any pigmentation or very low pigmentation. This makes the hemoglobin molecule the dominant one. Now, by applying image processing tool, neural networks, specifically in our case, we can measure the hemoglobin levels. We can measure it for everyone. It's usually a problem for children below the age of 5 and for women, pregnant women, and not so much for the rest of the population. And the reason we are focusing on kids is because, for example, women get blood tests and kids not so much.
But and I know that in adult women, iron deficiency is a big deal, and actually something that's actually needed to be looked at longer term. So that leads me to another question I have: is that device that we saw in the picture that was doing the measuring, is that your device? Did you create that device? Is there a
No? So it's not our device. This is a device that is being manufactured for Myor under exclusivity. Our main advantage is with taking the transepidermal water loss, which is being measured for quite some time, some in the cosmetics industry, a bit in the research industry, and we've taken it to the field of allergies, which we are the only ones who've done so far.
That's fabulous. By the way, comment from one of our friends here, Amy, who has a 3-month-old with iron issues and hates to go to the doctor because doesn't want a needle stuck in them and it hurts. So this is a perfect solution.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the U.S. It sounds like you've already made some discussions or inroads happen in Colorado. What are you looking to do in the U.S.? What's your thinking in the United States?
So our model is that we use the pediatricians to access the babies. The idea is that the test is very simple to do, doesn't take any time, and the babies go to see the pediatricians for the well baby visit anyway. So we're looking for clinics or pediatricians to have this done for their patients. Now, for those at risk, we can offer them the protection plan and generate the revenues from that. And we're looking right now for these pediatricians, these clinics that want to offer something new, something innovative, something preventative to their clients, to their patients.
So your model is to go out and connect with the pediatricians directly.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And so hospital systems and clinical groups are what you're...
We would love to connect with hospitals. Where actually we've done our clinical trials in the hospitals in the second day of life. We've taken the measurement. Also, health groups are something that is very, that's ideal for us. Right now, we are looking for something that we can do fast. So if, and it's not that we do not want to talk with big health organizations, it's just that we are looking to go to market as soon as we can.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And trying to get to a big hospital system, sometimes it's quicker to get to a number of individual clinics. So one more question, how long have you all been around?
So the company is a spin-off of the Hebrew University. So Professor Cohen has been researching skin for 30 years. Wow. In 2018, we've taken this into the commercial applications and started tweaking it to make it a product. And we've been around for a bit less than 3 years now.
It's really wonderful. Anybody else have any other questions or comments for Idan? Well, we certainly, and I'm sure Avi, oh, there we go. Judith, did you want to type it or did you want to say it? Go ahead.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a quick question. Do you have to go through a big regulatory process to roll that out here in the US?
That's an excellent question. Now, the reason we've chosen to be a decision support tool, actually, it's really interesting. The US, the FDA is progressing with digital health and making it more accessible, unlike Europe, which is becoming less accessible. And we've regulated our application through the 21st Century Cure Act as a decision support, which has been not so difficult. We've just needed to follow the guidelines and make sure that it's all fits the act.
Fabulous. That's really great. Well, listen, we are so excited that we got a chance to speak with you today. I'm sure that Avi and I will both be interested in following up with you. We may be able to do some fast things for you here in Rhode Island and see if we can make stuff happen.
Hey, Dan, be in touch with me. I'll connect you to some of the departments here in Rhode Island so you can work with them.
Thank you,
Perfect.
Idan.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thank
Have
you.
a great evening. Okay, next up, we're going to hear from Maya Huber, the co-founder and CEO of Skillset. Maya, there you are.
Great to meet you too. Really exciting to be in here, and thank you for the warm welcome. So I'm the CEO and co-founder of Skillset. Skillset is here to create a new job matching standard, which is much more inclusive and transparent and objective. Mainly, we help recruiters and job seekers get better hiring decision making, and it's relevant now more than ever. But we started before COVID, but I will talk about that. So companies around the globe, and when you look at the numbers, the Fortune 500 company lose $80 million yearly just because they're not inclusive. Companies still missing out. Third, are you hearing me properly? Because it's seeing me on delay. Yeah, okay. So companies around the globe still missing qualified candidates. Most of them are diverse job seekers, but actually when you look at today at the employment crisis, you will also look at people who are forced into career change, so their resumes and CVs do not reflect the skills. So when you look at the common recruitment solutions around the globe, despite innovation in technology, most of them are still biased just because they're not providing data about the tested performance skills of the candidates. So they are all still rely on subjective experience or personality assessment of the candidates. Skillset is here to change that. So we created an AI SaaS job simulation compatibility platform. I will show you a bit about our product. A candidate is entering our platform, is sharing his interests, and then is provided with a smart simulation test. It's a live experience of the job for a couple of minutes. So if, for instance, if you're a call center representative, you will perform calls and answer clients for around 10 minutes or so. We analyze your performance online with a smart algorithm, and basically what we do is we also collect data from the performance skills and audio and video analysis, and we provide with automatic skill set profile that share the matching level of the candidate, which two scores is matching level to the tasks, the ability to perform the task, and the environment, and some recommendations about what needs to be accommodated in the workplace, better the best training it needs to provide, etc. So it's an objective file that offer us to match those candidates with the best companies that looking to hire with their exact needs. So it's specific simulation for a specific job. We already made pilots. This is our results. We reduced recruitment costs by 30%, and increased retention rate by 20%. I don't have it here, but our last pilot in Israel with one of the biggest, actually is the biggest call center in Israel, we also improved their ability to recruit diverse job seekers by 25%. We also help companies stand with regulation and the SDG as Sustainable Developmental Goals. So we are a B2B SaaS subscription model. Companies pay us. We are targeting their sourcing budget. They pay us for a pool of vetted candidates. It tiers of pools depends on the size of the company, and there's also a small success fee that for placement, for successful placement. We are the only platform in the market right now that offers an inclusive technology that tests the performance based of the performance performance skills of the candidates before the first interview. And we provide a tool that it's transparent and objective for both sides. So for us, we want to switch the click and pray method that is current right now, that you just send your CVs and all you have to do is pray for people to come back to you. With Skillset, you know where you stand, you know where your skills at if you are comparable to the job, and we offer a better process for both sides. This is our excellent management team. Actually, More is here in the audience somewhere. I can't see her, but she's here. Maybe she will wave. I'm a PhD candidate in the field of occupational therapy. Me and More, we are the co-founders. We are a team for more than a decade. We establish and manage the biggest project in Israel in the field of diverse hiring, helping both companies and diverse job seekers to find each other. So this is our main expertise. We have more than 20 years of experience. Half of them are together as a team. Nir, our CTO, is experienced CTO with a specific experience in AI and accessibility. So this is a huge part of our team. We also have the more full stack developers and sales operation, customer success. We finished with a couple of the high league accelerator programs in Israel, 800 Impact. Techstar is actually a global accelerator program, and we are backed by Bank Poalim, the Israel Innovation Authority, and we won some prizes. We also are nominated at the for the WSA awards of best employment startups, impact employment time in Israel. This is going on right now. So we have already 3 working simulations for call center representative in the insurance industry and banking. We have 150 users in Israel and successful pilots and customers that already paying customers in Israel. And we're building a traction in the US. We are here because we will love your help to find some companies we could collaborate with. They could be either companies or design partners. They can be in the areas of health service, maybe CVS, Blue Cross, or large insurance companies, or any other like AAA. Any other companies you will feel like will enjoy either the diverse part of our platform or just want to reach better candidates and expand their pool of candidates. So that could be great. I haven't said, but we are one of our go-to-market strategy is to reach our pool of candidates from we're using social media and agencies and companies that provide service for the diverse job seekers. So any connection there could be helpful. We're just closing a pre-seed round. We have just 10% left of the seed round. So if you are familiar with investors that could be interested. And we're also looking for some experts for our advisory board in the field of marketing and agile tech experts. Thank you again for the opportunity and looking forward for your questions, actually.
Wow, wonderful. Actually, you second in a row. We had about 2 minutes left. So you did a great job on your timing. Thank you, Maya. So this is a big problem that you're solving, which is really when you hire somebody, often they've been through one too many interviews with human beings who, we all put our little spin on things. If we like the person, don't like the person, it's really difficult to know whether or not that person is really going to be ready to excel in that job. So I commend you for helping us to maybe get in another direction here. So I was curious, is this more specifically aimed at jobs that actually have more task orientation to them, or can you also test for such things as business development or sort of the softer skills, if you will?
So actually, we're looking at the entire market. Our go-to-market strategy is to reach the market of mass recruiting recruiting. The reason is that these companies really suffer from huge turnover, so it's a great business need to start from, and also because it's important to us to start and to create an impact with diverse job seekers, so they are there and it will be easier for us. But we have the ability to simulate any kind of job in the market, and we hopefully will do that.
Wow, that's interesting. So what does the machine learning actually do? So if I'm the person actually looking for the job, I was assuming, and maybe this is wrong because I was spending a little time at your website, that you would present me with some sort of a test that would allow you to decide which of the company, which of the offerings out there that I might actually fit best into. Do I have that right?
Yeah, it's a live experience of the job for a couple of minutes. So it's a test, but it's also an experience. It's important for you as a job seeker to better understand the job.
Yeah.
So you experience the job itself. We analyze your performance, like for speed, accuracy, the way you perform on the screen, the click, whatever you made in terms of performance, and we combine it with the data that we receive from the AI video analysis and audio analysis. So it's a much better, it's a 360 degrees view of your skills. And when you look at the platform that use AI, that there is a problem with AI. It's not, there is a term respectful AI, that AI is still biased because of the algorithms is based on the normal. So basically what we're trying to do is to create a new data set that combine this AI with tested skills. So for instance, if you perform well in the test and show the anxiety, but your result was good, you still qualify for a job. So that's allow a new opportunity for diverse job seekers to show these skills and be qualified for the job.
Exactly. You probably already thought of this, I'm sure, but I work with a lot of global, Fortune 500 companies who have, 75, couple 100,000 employees who don't know each other, and they might actually be interested in finding another job inside of their company. And I could see this being an enterprise solution for myself if I'm working in a company with 200,000 people and I'd like to actually know my skill sets and then what's open inside of the company. I could see this being a very big opportunity. You mentioned CBS as a big headquarters here. They're that kind of company that has
absolutely.
That kind of
and you can also set goals for you to stand with in order to reach your next job, next position in the
even better. Really enabling my journey as an employee of that large company. So yeah,
absolutely.
I wanted to invite anybody else who might have any questions.
I have
please
a question.
let us know.
I have a question. Is that relevant also to state and government, especially with the situation with COVID, where they need to move people from one department to another, depend on the skills? And I know we in Rhode Island did a lot of shifting. People from commissary did different jobs. Is that also good for state and government?
Absolutely. You just need to remember that in the stage that we are at, we can either offer candidates in the field that we have already simulations developed already, or we can have any designer. We can simulate any kind of job within 2 or 3 weeks. So whatever partner that will be fast enough for him will be there.
Wow,
it's relevant for any kind of job in the market.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And
eventually we will have all the market, but we're just started.
How long have you been around?
A year and 3 months.
Wow, that's very impressive. And congratulations on moving on the seed and Techstars and all of that.
Thank you so much.
So we will definitely be following up with you because we would love to find a way to help you have a U.S. presence here in our region. I could see a great deal of application. I'm sure Avi and others can as well. So that's great. It really is a big problem for those of us that ever hire people. You just never know whether the person will really fit until they get here. And you make your determinations with a lot of human lenses without a lot of real knowledge behind the scenes. And so that's terrific. Yeah, thank you. Great to meet you.
Thank you so
Maya.
much.
Yeah. Anybody have any other questions? Good. Okay. So last but certainly not least, we're going to talk to Prodops, and we have with us today the Prodops, easy for me to say, CEO and co-founder Viki Slavin.
Yes, I'm here. It's Prodops. The meaning of it's production operations. But yes, I will share my screen.
Please. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for hosting us. I think that what I find in common for every people here is that we want to create an impact in countries that we live at, and we want to work together, and it's amazing. I would like to share a little bit about who we are. I'm really the CEO and co-founder of Prodops, and what we do, we build cloud infrastructure solutions. I promise not to deep dive to too much technical details and not bore you. So let me start and share with you a story about a medical client that we worked with and inspired us to build our solution to those medical organizations. We worked with a digital SaaS health startup that his mission was to reduce data in order to improve his own AI algorithm. It was his mission. He got money to do it, and he started to find partners that are medical organizations. And his pain points were, how do I get an access to real data that I need for my algorithm? And second, it's taken me so much time to meet all the legal and compliance requirements. You're probably familiar with them. It's to meet HIPAA compliance and be part of FDA compliance, all legal and IP contracts. It's cost a lot of money and takes a lot of time, especially with medical organizations. Then, when he overcome those challenges, he started to collect the data and process EMR, electronic medical records of 250,000 patients from a medical organization that he started to work with. And after he did the processing work, he had to share those insights with the organization, because in this way, he can help them to improve their diagnostics and business decisions. And it was also a challenging, probably, project for him. It took him 6 months just to get the access to the data, and it's cost him $1 million. So we helped him, but he closed his startup, and it's touched us. How can a startup that can create a great impact already got something that he could prove, and due to money and time problems, he closed doors. And from cost perspective, I can explain it. He needs expensive computation resources. All startups need, right? We have solutions, it's amazing, but what's the challenging is how much it's cost us and how much we will charge our client and how much our client can bill his patients or clients. Then meeting compliance and legal limitations, we know how much it costs. Hiring technical expert, because the operational know-how, it's missing. We need expensive people to do it. And then you need to create a pipeline to process high volumes of data. Of course, we have great buzzwords like AI and machine learning. We have managed service of big IT providers like Google and Microsoft, Amazon, you name it. But it's cost us a lot of money to do it. from time perspective, you need access to a specific data, because if you get high volumes of data, you also need to filter it. Of course, it's supposed to be anonymized data to keep the privacy. Then you need to create a pipeline to collect it, to prepare it for analyzation, and then build a pipeline to process it properly. Otherwise, it will cost you a lot of money. Then you need to train your algorithm. Otherwise, it's worth nothing, and improve the accuracy of it. And then you need to bring the integration back in a way that the medical organization can use it. So you have insight for those organizations. Of course, our challenges that made us to create our platform, it's how both researchers, it's a startup and medical organization that want to get access to data, and health organizations that has the data can securely work together, but in a better way. It's supposed to be more efficient, and it's supposed to cost less money. So medical organization and startup both can pay for it. We decided to create one-click research platform for those medical companies and health organization. And I promise not bore you with technical details, but I think connect is the integration part that's important. It's connect for big issues, is how you get to on-prem the hardware that medical organization has internally, how you create data collectors that are scalable, that can take any amount of volumes of data, how you can create triggering, why you need to trigger it, because you probably need to find a way to use those expensive resources only where you need to process the data, not all the time. Otherwise, you'll be out of money. And second part is how you make it possible between both sides. And I also want deep dive. Our platform allows the external researcher to get the access to the data in a secured way. And it allows the medical organization itself share this data in a secured way that meet all compliance, but on demand. If he has a specific data that he would like to share, he can do it in minutes, not wait weeks or months to reach out to this data, to collect it, to find a way. So I think the main part that stays still the work of external researcher, those are companies that want the access to the data, it's upload their models and be creative. Do the analyzation work when the medical organization has the full control of everything, it's auditable, and he needs to download results and share it back. So I think we create something that it's missing for every company, is the integration pipeline of how to make it work. We are agnostic to cloud providers, and we work with all big of them. And I just want to share with you, I think the return of investment on such projects for medical organizations themselves, I think they can provide on-demand research environments in minutes. It's something that they don't have this capability yet. And it's why we are speaking with many companies. We started to do it with a couple of medical organizations in Israel. And we also do it for medical companies, both from digital health and bioinformatica sectors. And we found that it can reduce their infrastructure cost by 25% because we utilize cloud resources, and it's our specialties. And we can reduce operational cost. You need less people to do the work by 40%. And we know probably from Maya how much people cost and how challenging it is to recruit good people. And then people can gain the security that they're afraid from, because when you do it in an automated way, you have audit for everything you do. You have a signature. You don't need to guess. In this way, both sides can effortlessly get access to the most advanced image and data processing resources because they will use them in the cloud. A little bit about products. We have two branches. We established our company 7 years ago as a consulting firm that build a lot of cloud infrastructure solutions. We have two branches, one in Tel Aviv and second in London. We're very active in the technical communities, and we established 4 technical groups where we share knowledge for free because we want more people. I think we want to share the capabilities of how you can do it with best practices. And we help organizations worldwide. I can share with you some of our companies that we work with. Some of them big medical organizations, commercial firms, and even small startups. And we work a lot with cybersecurity startups. It's why we can say that we can do it in a secured way. What we would like probably to gain from this opportunity, it's connections with health organizations and hospitals. I know that there are hospitals like Lifespan and South County Hospital, and we would like to meet their CIOs just to see if they would like to hear about this platform. Also, FDA compliance consultants that located in Rhode Island to understand if we can be connected with them. And healthcare IT providers that are local providers, we will have their support because they already there. And we're still here in Israel due to COVID. And we'll be glad to meet people and probably CIOs, CTOs, innovation managers from those organizations. So thank you.
Viki, that was great. Actually, what was really interesting is the connections. We are literally 40 miles away from some of the most important global organizations that do genetic research and healthcare, et cetera. But also certainly within our region, we have a ton of healthcare organizations that we could introduce you to. So remind me, how many years did you say when did you start this company?
We work in this business 7 years.
7 years. Okay. Yeah. So 2013. That's interesting. Do you have anybody that's out there that you think of as a direct competitor to what you're doing?
Not that we know. I explain you why. Because people think that we are our competition is a cloud provider itself, but it's not. They give you the platform. You still need to find a way to use it. You still need to make the pipeline in order to work. So we didn't found a competitor in Rhode Island, but if you will, we'll be open to probably cooperate because there are not enough, let's call it companies that can do it.
And
well,
is it typical that when you go in and get a new client, is there a bit of, it seems like there might be more consulting at the front end and then the application, you have to tweak it for every situation a little bit for consultant, kind of consulting purposes?
I think a generic platform, I explain you why, generic, but the main part of it, like for all companies, you need to help people to work with it in the way they can handle. Okay, it's the main part for it. It's not the generic solutions that we created. It's to help them work and not change too much the way their workflows. And it's the adoptions that we need to do. It's the integration probably that every company needs to, every software company.
That's right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me with this kind of a business that you're going to need to do an adaptation to every sort of situation. So I actually want to open this up. Anybody out there have any questions for Viki and what ProDops does? You seem to have hit upon a very important and specific issue in the healthcare arena. Basically entering the US markets. Have you entered? I don't recall if you said that have you worked with anybody in the US yet?
Yes, we have some clients in the US. They're mainly located in Silicon Valley. Okay. Bioinformatica and medical company themselves, and not medical organizations yet, because we want to do it with a local partner. We think it will be a better way.
And East Coast of the United States is really, we're about as far away from Silicon Valley as you might want to be.
I know, what can I do?
No, but it's good. It's really good. So Anybody have any other additional questions for Viki and ProDops? Okay. Well, we so appreciate hearing from you, a really interesting platform and company who's hit upon a really specific and very important need in the health tech environment. Terrific to meet you in person. We look forward to following up with you. I'm sure that both Avi and I will follow up with you about the kinds of things that we could do to help. And Avi, I'm going to turn it back over to you. If you've got any additional wisdom to share with us today, we are just about out of time.
Avi, before you close it, I would just like to say, hey, Team Rhode Island, let's hook these companies up and show them why Rhode Island is so amazing.
Yay.
So yeah, so number one, I want to thank our guest speaker to Brett Smiley, and thank you, Brett, for giving your time. I see some potential of the government as a state using some of what we saw here today. Thank you to the speakers, our guests from Israel, and we will connect with you. And some of you, we are already talking with you and helping to connect you. And I hope there will be results. And by the way, I forgot to mention earlier, one of the companies we introduced in the last program signed an agreement of collaboration with a company in Newport, Rhode Island. So we published it on our blog. So results are happening, and we have a second company that participated in our first, and they're literally waiting to get the contract signed any date. I hope I'll have it today, but there's a delay for a few days. So, you know, that's what we do, and hopefully that also, by exposing you to Rhode Island, you'll see why you want to put a place here, a beachhead to the United States with access to academia. We have a tremendous workforce, and Commerce RI, by the way, have projects, program for companies that open here, where if you take a student, a faculty member as a hiree, they give you money towards a salary. And we have some amazing academic institutions, RIIC, Rhode Island School of Design, and I don't know if a lot of you know that, but like 2 of the 3 people that started Airbnb are went to RISD. Brown University have an amazing mathematical and computer science department. And so you can find collaboration because those people and those professors, they work with large companies in the US. Of course, we have very large headquarters of CVS here in Rhode Island. And hopefully we somehow, they usually, you know, people live around, there's a small place and they talk between each other. So hopefully we can connect you. But more importantly, and last, I want to thank also to our team here that really takes a lot of work to bring a product, a program like this month by month. The partnership with RIHub, with Venture Cafe, with everybody, and the support also of the state. So.